We are playing some more, we called this boat control last time, but one of the changes I've made that we talked about in the wrap-up previously is that I have cut the Dreadway from the top end of this deck. So this was originally a build-around submission to play the champion Gangplank as well as the champion Swain here, with they each have a boat that draws them when it comes into play. And the Dreadway, generally speaking, just ends up being worse than Captain Baron in most instances. So this is the exact same list we played last time, except I've got Captain Baron at the top end of our deck now. The rest of this deck, if you didn't see it last time, it's just got good units on curve. We've got Deckhand, Fortune Croaker, Hired Gun, House Spider, and then good interaction here. Zap Spray Fin as card advantage to draw interaction. So just kind of a good mid-range deck that does a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a few champions that have boats that draw. The MF Misfortune and Sajani both have them as well. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see if it feels good again today, even without the Dreadway. Pelly, thank you for the 17 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Bortle, thank you for the very generous tier 3. I appreciate the 15 months. Good morning. The new expansion drop tomorrow or Thursday? Neither. We'll get patch notes tomorrow, so we should know the full card list tomorrow or today. Tomorrow at the latest, and then Wednesday afternoon the patch will drop. Usually they drop patches at like noon to 1 p.m. Central, sometime between 10 and 11 a.m. PST. Alright, Gangplank Misfortunes. This is likely Pirate aggro. I'm actually going to mulligan everything here with the Flock, looking for some 2-mana cards to play out. Yeah, this is not bad. Hey, Corrosion, thanks for the 24 months. Good morning.
I have my orders.
Yeah, it's a good start. This is a good pickup, so we'll bank our spell mana here on 1, and then we'll play a 2-drop on 2, and then we'll be able to Sentry plus block something on 3.
Bloody, get paid.
Hired Gun's gonna get to hook this in, which will be great.
Time to make some coin.
Please play a Misfortune. That'll do in a pinch. Do we want to open attacks? I'm just playing Zap out here. Most of the things they could play out, this is going to get to attack into, and if they play something that this can't attack into, I still get to attack for 5. Yeah, like this is fine.
Don't stand in my way.
Why are you here?
Genesis Gamer, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good morning.
Try again.
If anybody's in here this morning, by the way, that gave the channel a follow yesterday while the stream was live, welcome. There are about a dozen or so people that did that. I think I want to prioritize keeping my life total high here. The problem is they played a Zap, which means they're pretty likely to have a Noxian Fervor of their own in hand. I think I'm just going to deckhand. I think I'm going to deckhand plus block plus Death's Hand. Oh, they get to hook it like this now. Yeah, that's true. Huh. Huh. So do I Death's Hand here, or do I Fervor? I think I Fervor, because if they want to spend their Fervor killing my keg, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think this is a win for us. Did they spoil Riven? Usually spoilers happen 45 minutes from now. Did I miss it? We'd have talked about it first thing to start if we had Riven happen. Brazil did it early. Brazil just has no chill on the leaks, huh? Alright, I think I'm gonna, if people wanna look at spoilers, don't post them in chat. You can talk about them in the subs Discord. I'm gonna wait until we have the English drop in 45 minutes. 45 minutes isn't gonna kill anyone. Yeah, we're doing this. Yeah, playing this deckhand out last turn might have been a mistake. This is a good draw because it means double Death Stand will get to kill this. The video was in English. Oh, well. Wait, did they not draw anything there? Easy attack with everything here.
You can't do this.
Cut my name into you.
This isn't anywhere near leveling, so I think we just pass here. Thanks, Grimmelton. Yeah, yesterday was a lot of fun. I was a little bit nervous to start, but I think everything worked out. It's a good pickup as well. Feels like we're in a pretty okay spot here.
For the Empire.
So then we get to go ahead and tell Gangplank to flock off. Hey, good morning, Team Bizarro. Thanks for the 2 months of support. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, it seems like we had a generally positive response to my work yesterday. I felt good about what happened. Is it, I usually say Orion Sol. Is it Aurelian Sol? Aurelian, is that it? I don't really care. I should probably just say A Sol, because who gives a shit? But, is it Aurelian? I could probably Google it, I assume. Yeah, like... So, chat, for those of you that are saying NSFW, I only tag videos NSFW if there's an incredible amount of swearing in it. It's actually very important that I swear a little bit during my videos. I need at least one shit or fuck. And we're covered for this video. Because it's important that my video game videos on YouTube are very clearly not for children. Because if my content on YouTube is made for children, I could get in trouble because I flag it as not for kids. So it's important that we lace a little bit of profanity in there. So that way when I tag it not for children, it's very abundantly clear that that is the case.
Darken the sky!
Baron could end us. I think we might be okay here. So, they can't even double decimate us this turn. We're blocking like this. I'm going to get to drop Swain, who's leveled, and then that'll let me tell Farron to get flocked here. And then I get to drop this as well and have open attacks next turn. Now, the issue with my camera time, Lord, is that I'm very bouncy when I'm streaming usually, and I can't sit still. And with 4 casters on the screen, our boxes were very narrow. So that wasn't an issue with the camera, it was an issue with my inability to sit still.
Born a patrician, I became a soldier. Ye started without me.
Who's on top of the bounty board today?
Is there an advantage to doing Swain before the pirate? Yeah, I want to make this vulnerable. I want to make one of their things vulnerable. Am I supposed to boat, or am I supposed to... I think we're just supposed to boat, right? Boat's the more conservative play. Boat pass, yeah.
Order, sir. Bring forth our army.
Thanks, Wargs. That was a sweet game. Feel like that really highlighted the strength of what this deck is looking to do. We had a ton of good, cheap cards that played to the board and interacted early, and then in the late game they were able to pivot very quickly and elegantly into closing the game out before we got decimated out of it. Morning, Dougie. I think we mulligan Baron in this matchup. I'm going to keep the rest of these 2-drops that play to the board early. No, nothing specific as of yet, Silence. I imagine that, like, they're going to have meetings to talk about how all of their regionals went over the course of the week. Like, I can't imagine that they were working and coordinating on things over the weekend, so I imagine I'll hear back from their folks at some point. There's also, they don't have another tournament for a couple of months, right? So even if they want me back, there's a good chance I don't hear about it for a while. And there's also a very real chance too, like, you know, Runeterra Esports is very new, that there's a very reasonable chance that even if they're happy with the work that I did, that they want to rotate through and try other people out as they're still getting things developed. I wouldn't really be too upset with that. Would be a very understandable thing for them to want to be doing. I think I'm just playing Hired Gun here so I can block their 2-2. Making this vulnerable isn't super exciting, but I want to kind of preserve my life total here in the early game.
Not my first gunfight.
It's a decent pickup.
Good.
Oh, I could have hooked her with the spider. I think it's fine. I think I'm just gonna pass here. I think I want to hold on to the spider for the time being because there is a real chance that this draws a Ravenous Flock. That seems a good pickup though too.
Let's do this.
Morning, Deech. So one thing that's worth noting about this is that, unlike a lot of Gangplank decks, I wouldn't describe our deck as like a turbo Gangplank deck. You'll note that it's now turn 4 and we're going to get our first Gangplank trigger right away this turn. Yeah, I heard about the Riven leak. I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait for it to post on the actual. I'm gonna wait for it to post actually. Like waiting another half hour is not gonna kill me. As to Rune, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. If folks want to peek at it before then, maybe the video exists. Enjoy. Don't really want to attack this singular one, I don't think, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass back here.
A game. Go on then. Watch the ball, folks.
Morning, Deech. It's a good piece of top end for later. Maybe it's right to attack with this because it dies to the third deal one. I can see that being correct.
Go with the flow.
Get zapped down here because we still get to play a 3-mana spell because of a tune.
Bounty board knows my name.
With luck, your bounty covers half a meal.
I'm gonna go ahead and kill this now. I think I just want to kill this proactively because if we go to if I pass and they pass back, they could glimpse plus salvage to level this up. And while getting glimpse in response here feels a little bit bad, them having leveled Twisted Fate in the bank would feel much worse. So. So they have 2 fearsome blockers for Swain at this point. So that's not really a good avenue of attack. I think we're just dropping Gangplank here.
Look for a man of influence. You chose wealth. I choose power.
Keep up, keep up.
I'll show him.
I'm gonna go ahead and attack. Actually, you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna attack with everything here. Because if they work their way up to pack the bags, I'm gonna lose my board anyways. So I think it's advantageous for me to be trading aggressively here, so that way when they do eventually tell me to pack, that the board is mostly clean.
Son of a...
Didn't know the boss is set for ye.
I'd assume they want to put a damage on here, so that way if he levels, he still dies to a deal 5. They could be wanting to clear board space as well. Just passing for now.
We playing bilge rules, son?
Can you help me? Can I just take my wheelchair?
What's up, buddy?
You see, cut the wall.
Yeah, you can bring the switch in here and help you set it up. The battery should be full now, you're right.
How tedious.
So this means I can't play an 8-drop this turn, but I think that's fine. Again, I just want to, like, preserve my health total here in the early game.
Sacrifice must be made. Victory awaits.
So you push the power button on top. And you press the A button 1, 2, 3 times. And there's Yoshi. And then there's Jacob.
Okay.
Alright, go ahead. Love you, buddy. Have fun.
Gotta go with the flow.
Hey, thanks, Courtly Ski. So we're both at 3 of 5 here. They have a keg anyways, and they're probably going to want to kill this. I think I'm actually going to get a Kroger here. Okay, so their next one's going to be a pack your bag. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see a change to pack your bags, not strictly because of power level, but just because of concerns. I think from a play pattern perspective, it's a little toxic. Like, the events we had this past weekend, I think showed really elegantly that there's a lot of reasonable counters to the archetype, but I think the types of gameplay that it generates aren't super great. Yeah, one of the things Runeterra usually does that's good from a design perspective is that Riven is today. Yeah, we'll get patch notes tomorrow. So if there's any card changes coming, we'll find out tomorrow. It's exactly correct. So I think I actually want to Death's Hand this now, so that way I can Scorched Earth it if they open attacks next turn. Which knobs do I turn and go hard? I would make Pack Your Bags cost 4.
I don't change fate, but I can see
I think making it cost 4 puts it more appropriately in line with like what it's doing, even with the setup. And it means, yeah, I would leave Go Hard alone, and I would just make Pack Your Bags cost 4. For 4, Nopify could no longer counter it. Lukewarm take. Nopify countering Pack Your Bags isn't actually that good. The reason why you play Nopify is so you can counter the Go Hards before they shuffle copies back into the deck. By the time they're packing your bags, if you counter this, they're probably still going to be killing you. This is notably going to level their Gangplank, so I'm just going to go ahead and kill it now. Yeah, putting it to 4 means Zap can't tutor it once it's Pack Your Bags. Also, I also think something that's really important to acknowledge with the way Runeterra is designed is that the difference between 3 mana and 4 mana in Runeterra is huge, because that's the difference between being able to play something for spell mana and not being able to play something for just spell mana.
cowards.
I think changes like that, Ghosty, are super convoluted, and I think just making it cost more is more elegant. I think the complexity of the recommended change is something meaningful to consider.
A game. Go on then.
This board head does have very good music. You are not wrong. Yeah, which music you hear is determined by which game board you're playing on. One of the many fantastic cosmetic details that Runeterra gets very, very right. Dragon Slayers, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good morning.
There's nothing to fear. Come, stay a while.
Something the matter.
Squirtle Squad, thank you for the 15 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good morning. All right, chat. We need your professional opinions.
Like, is it passable for a kid craft?
Is this passable for a kid craft? This is very important. We need your opinions.
It's atrocious, isn't it?
how old? 5 and 6, right? 5, 6, maybe 7. First graders are 7, right?
It's fine. It's fine. It's cute.
If I kill you, I don't fortune.
I mean,
Alright, so I think I just want to keep my life total as high as possible, so let's drop a house spider here as a blocker.
I only had green beads. We don't have any other color beads to make it here. I would have liked red. So red might be.
So do I flock this to deny them their gain 2? It's worth noting the downside here is that if they have 2 more pack your bags, I lose now. I'm losing that anyways though, right? Doesn't matter. We're just playing Go Fish. We'd lose outright because they keep the keg, but there might be something to this Captain Farron card, chat. Garen Lucian. Huh? Mulligan, all the rest of these looking for a cheaper interaction. Yeah, probably an elite deck with Lucian, I imagine. This is perfect. Yeah, it's worth noting that if the Pharaons had been Dreadways, they would have come with a Gangplank. So they would have generated some card advantage, but it wouldn't have been as direct to ending the game.
Making the dead deader.
I'll try and do this to start. They could have +2/+2 or a Ranger's Guile. They have Chain Vest. Okay. I also could have done this there, but that loses to single combat.
Purity and peace.
This isn't a huge deal. I get to go ahead and drop Hired Gun next turn, which lets me hook into her.
I deal in coins and carnage.
Thanks, Eddie.
A symbol worth fighting for.
Just go ahead and do this now. Well, I don't have any other tricks up. Keg plus this will let us finish a 3/3, which is nice.
For king and country.
For king and country. And attack. Thank you for the Prime support. I really appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. Demacia!
I'll do my best.
So, I'm gonna throw this here. I'm gonna Death's Hand here, and then we'll tell Garen to get flocked post-combat. Hoping to dodge Ranger's Guile. Aviant, thanks for the 11 months. Welcome back. Oh, I don't have mana for Flock. I'm dumb.
Stay resolute.
It's fine. It'll be okay. Registered to vote in GA. God bless.
You pay. I got the spirits. These are my rules. Raise the banner. Lift our spirits. We stand strong.
Might be right to culling here. Look, Steve, thanks for the sub-gifty. Good morning. I think I want to play a 5-drop. Just to be resource efficient here. Thanks, Joe. It's probably just the 5/5.
Rarely forget and never forgive.
Yeah, my miscounting my mana at a glance and not being able to flock this off the board could easily lose us this game.
Cut my name into ya. There is assistance.
Yeah, yesterday was great. Okay, I mean, so this gets to eat this now, but then hopefully I can kill Garen.
We must not relent.
I have a keg. I didn't mess it up this time. I have a keg. So we lose to single combat and we lose to any pump spell, but gotta shoot your shot sometimes. Unemployed Sofa, thanks for the prime. Welcome back. Good morning. Actual factional prismatic barrier. Yeah, the I feel like we have a shot that game if I ignore the 3/3 and then just block the Garen, but I just genuinely foobarred how much mana I had. I thought I had enough to Death Sand and Flock that turn. I just didn't. No other excuse. Leona Lux. So, more controlling deck, but still some cheap units to start. I think I'm gonna full mulligan still, looking for just units like this to get pressure onto the board. I'd imagine we're probably the beatdown in this matchup. And even if they do have somewhat of an aggressive start with their Daybreak cards, House Spider helps play the board nicely.
Raise your weapon, Sunwood.
I'm going to play this out, but I'm not going to block. This turns into a 2/2 next turn, so no reason to, like, throw something away on a point of toughness that's temporary. I don't know if this is even going to be super useful later, so I might just play this and hook this here.
Success gets noticed around
This is
here.
fine. Lala Song, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
Don't stand in my way.
Back, heretic.
Glorious end.
So we can go zap into one of these spells here. They're mostly out of resources, so we'll probably go zap into Death's Hand this, and then have a pretty good open attacks. No, I don't think so. I'm not, like, our deck's not a super aggro deck, Tobias, so, like, I'm not really in a hurry to level Gangplank.
Have faith.
It could be a small load of 20,000 shillings. Hey, maybe 20,000 people will claim Shillionaire sometime soon, Larnex. Thus making it cheaper for folks like you to get in.
May our light shine forever. If I kill you, I don't fortune, stupid.
I gotta wait for the trickle.
For silver I die, for gold I hasten.
Daylight star will rule the skies.
So now we have to decide how aggressive do we want to be here. I think we're probably... Oh, they're just passing. Okay, sure. Yeah, that sounds fine.
We have no quarrel. Insolence.
Try again.
I'll make corpses of a ball.
We can do this.
I think we're just passing here. I burn a couple of mana, but I want to save this till next turn so I can get a Gangplank trigger, I think.
Aharak Mars.
I should have put a 2/2 in front of this to preserve some of that in case they healed. It's a good thought. I was just thinking about Pale Cascade and I'm dealing 4 with the keg. Probably gonna lose this one because of that. Yep. See if Leviathan can drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line. Yeah, we're at a pretty low life total at this point, though. And, like, Lux is getting to level up. Yeah, the turn... So my opponents had 2 really good turns here. The turn they passed and burned my mana was great for them. And then this, when I didn't block and get this out of the way, was also really great for them.
We're going under.
Definitely not ideal turns for me. The fact that we've drawn a bunch of only 2 culling strikes in a matchup where it's basically dead hasn't helped either, but definitely haven't played this game particularly well. I mean, like, it's easy to have all the answers. They have a handful of cards, like... Thanks, Scoopin. It's easy to have all the things when you have a bunch of cards in hand. Like, looking at this game and thinking anything other than Jeff fucked up is, like, a bad takeaway. You can't control the cards your opponent has in hand. You can control the choices you make with the cards that you have. Yeah, burn down at this point. PM, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. So far we're 2 for 2 on our losses being pretty critical mistakes that were easy to catch and point out. I mean, when I lose, it's my fault. It is frequently your fault when you lose games. That is correct. I'm gonna keep these 2-3s early, just like a 2-2, a 2-3 for 2 is fine in the aggro matchup. I'm gonna mulligan these other more expensive cards.
No one's the wiser.
I think if they open attacks, I'm gonna go ahead and Death Stand here just to save myself the points of damage. My deck doesn't have a way to gain life, so preserving my life total early is pretty valuable. Since they decided to develop here, I'm just gonna go ahead and play this out, and then we'll get to block.
I'll shoot the wings off a bilge wasp.
In position.
Got us covered.
You pay first. I need a rubber chick.
Gotcha in my sights.
To the conversation in chat about how to play with Swain, the long and short of it is there isn't an easy, quick answer to how do you make Swain work.
You pay.
Swain, like many well-designed cards, is a flexible modal card that is kind of dynamic in what you want to do with it depending on what your hand is, what their board looks like, etc. It's not just as simple as this card does XYZ and you always execute this game plan with it. I think we're probably trading Fervor plus Croaker for Ballista here. Want to keep the board clean and my life total high.
Born a patrician, I became a soldier.
Like, for example, in a matchup like this, Swain is just like a decent body. Like, being able to block things meaningfully and preserve our life total is great.
Men tell my tale. Witness strength.
Like, they open attacks with this Gangplank next turn, Swain is blocking.
Looking for trouble? It found you.
Nah, probably not, TT. I don't imagine 40 cards make that many changes to the decks that are on my website. I might, if there's some obvious easy inclusions, I'll make some changes, but usually, generally speaking, people often overestimate how important it is to make changes to things in general, in my experience.
Tactician's greatest tool.
So I think I'm actually just gonna do both of these to kill their Gangplank here.
Sacrifice must be made.
That's a good thought. If I kill the Misfortune with Fervor, I then stun the Gangplank? I don't know, I feel like Gangplank's the scarier card. And this does the opposite, right? Kind of surprised they didn't attack there. I think I'm just opening on attacks and seeing what they do. I suppose I could zap, and if zap finds a way to deal direct damage, he could stun this. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and attack.
Witness strength.
My kind of party. I'll be damned.
Aren't any gods here? Just me.
Like a fish in water.
Morning, Kim.
Let's get it, crew.
So, if I play House Spider, I can't Scorched and Captain next turn, but I think that's fine.
Lock the doors. Who likes their lunch, eh? You lack discipline.
So, I passed here, assuming they would do this. This lets me Scorched Earth this. Again, I'm just like, this turn is really mana inefficient for me, but I just want to gain life here. My deck has so much good top-end finishing power, I just want to make sure I don't get burned out of the game. They don't draw Captain Theron here, we should be good.
I'll make corpses of them all. I'll cut my name into you.
Hey, Eric, thanks for the 17 months. Yeah, they don't have the rounds up on YouTube. I imagine that'll take them a little bit. But you can definitely check it out on their Twitch page. Coming in hot.
Destination in sight.
Thanks, Greco. Oh, did they put the full thing on YouTube already? Sweet. Just not sliced up. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They just chunked the whole bot up there.
Who's gonna get in my way?
Are there any Hoglandia community members of the top 32? At least one. Gremaldin, I think was their username.
Dark in the sky.
Or Gnome de Gur. Gnome de Gur. It started with the G. Gnome de Gur. Gnome, the second part might be wrong. Gnome de Gur. No, Gnome de Gur. Look at that. I did remember the name. The eye says they're dead. Click OK. By the way, for all the folks that are my regulars in chat, or if you're new too and just want to stop by again, I posted my schedule for the week. Things to note on the schedule: Wednesday morning will be a variety stream. Actually, yeah, let's just hang out for a second while we wait for the spoiler to post, so I can just pull up my schedule and talk about it. Good. We're going to need to be on the shared desktop scene anyways. Almost time. So Wednesday morning, we're going to be finishing Infamous Second Son because people that aren't familiar with Runeterra's release cycle, their new content usually go live sometime between noon and 1 p.m. PST, which is usually when I end my stream. Which means Wednesday night, I'll be diving into Runeterra instead of doing variety stuff in the evening. So we will do some new Runeterra on Wednesday, but it won't be until the evening. Thursday and Friday, I'm going to do double the normal segment that I do. So I'm planning to do 4 decks on each of these mornings. So we should get into a bunch of new card stuff right away. Oh yeah, and then other variety stuff. We're going to be doing Pokemon VGC tomorrow night. We're going to be starting the Final Fantasy VII Remake Thursday and Friday on the PlayStation. No, we're going to do the remake. And then assuming that the new card drop is fun, and I bet it will, I'm planning to do extra Runeterra the rest of these mornings into the next week as well. So, which BT dubs, for folks that are not familiar with my content, a lot of the things that we do here, I saw someone asking about bumping decks earlier. There's this stream queue button on my website, which lets you see what decks are coming up to be played on streams. Like, for example, these are the 2 we're playing today, the Swain and the Fiora Targan. If you have a deck idea that you would like to get played on stream at some point in the not-too-distant future, you can submit this to be played for a small donation. They're hanging out, waiting for a card drop here real quick. What does my schedule look like around Christmas? I think this is mostly done. I think I'm gonna stream the morning of Christmas Eve and then take Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off, but we'll see. Like, there's nothing going on, there's a pandemic, so there's probably a non-zero chance that I end up live at some point on Christmas Day, but I'm not putting it on the schedule. So I'm gonna leave it flexible to play it by ear. Maybe we'll take it off, but we'll see what Christy and how the kids are doing. What they're up to. Is Boxing Day a thing in the USA? No idea what that is, so I'm gonna go with no. Gotta update that pin tweet, Runeterra. Oh, that's it? 3 seconds to go. This one should have sound, right? So hopefully it's a champion spoiler.
Break the ties that bind.
When you gain the attack token Reforge, I level up when I see Blade of Exile in your hand. So for those that didn't catch the spoilers from yesterday, Reforge is a mechanic where there are 3 different 1-cost burst speed combat tricks that get generated. And then if it generates one explicitly you haven't generated already, and then when you've done it 3 times, you get a Blade of Exile. So this is, so you need to, once you've reforged 3 times, Riven is going to level up, it looks like here. And notably, she is self-enabling, right? So she is, she's going to give herself all on her own, so you can play her without a package, but she'll level up quicker if you have other cards around her that also reforge. Good people that note that she's extra good with Rally and Scout, because those are both keywords that involve gaining extra attack tokens, so you can get extra reforges that way while she's in play.
What conflict awaits? What is broken can be reforged.
So that was, for people that didn't see it yesterday, this is an example of one of the blade fragments. One gives overwhelm, one gives quick attack, one gives 2 attack temporarily.
I sense their power. No turning back now. Fly to them on broken wings.
They're so good at their level up animations. When you gain the attack token Reforge still, when my power is increased for the first time each round, increase it by twice as much. Okay, sure. So she works well with the blade as well. So, and I imagine that if you're granting a permanent buff, she's going to double that permanent buff. So if you play the Blade of Exile on her, she's going to turn into an 8/5 quick attack. 8/5 quick attack overwhelm. Yeah, exactly, Hat Crab. So putting the sword on her is really good. Can I submit a Riven Battle Fury build around? Definitely, Hank. That sounds fine.
Reforged, redeemed. The time for talk is over.
Riven, come face me!
I wondered if I'd see you again. Awaken.
My prey!
Follow the wind, but watch your back.
Broken wings need no wind to carry them. At last, a way forward.
So, I don't know if anybody caught this. Have we seen this card before and I missed it? Is this a new like secret spoiler in here? Survival skills? I saw the artwork and I thought this was yesterday? No, this survival skills was not on the list of things that got spoiled yesterday, I don't think. That might be her champion spell. The graphics out. Let's see if it's on the... It might be on the graphic. Let's take a peek. Otherwise, we'll go back and talk about it. Yeah, okay. Survival skills is on the graphic. Got it. Okay. Okay, so we got the other burst spell they played here, too. So, Sharpened Resolve, give an ally 3-2. 3-2 this round. And this is her champion spell. So, allies cannot drop below 1 health this round as a 5-mana slow spell. When discarded, your strongest ally cannot drop below 1 health this round. Oh, her champion spell is Hilt. Hilt's the champion spell. Okay, did they tell us that anywhere? That's neat, though. Oh, Riven's weapon hilt. There we go. There we go. It says Riven's right there. Got it. We saw a weapon hilt yesterday, but this is a sweet card too. Yeah, like maybe so that could just potentially slot right into. Gosh, can you imagine going to murder their Jinx and they like spinning axe discard the survival skills to save her in response? This is a gross effect with all of the burst speed discard that exists. Yeah, it's a neat upgrade to that archetype potentially. It'll be interesting to see if this ends up being better than some of the other cards that are already in there. Yeah, the Riven seems very reasonable. I know she's not super flashy, she just attacks, but like her stat line is really good, right? Like 3-4 for 3 is great. She notably can block, the third point of power means that she can block fearsome units. And the 4 points of toughness means she's surviving in combat with most of those fearsome units, which is great. Yeah, rummage and spinning axes, discarding survival still seems really, really good. What's Reforge? Reforge, for people that missed yesterday's spoiler, I'd encourage you to go back and look at that. Basically, it generates different fragments of a blade, which then create this blade of exile. Yeah, it's interesting. So, and this is just good design too, Pelly. I don't even know that you like strictly want to play her on your opponent's turn, so much as if you're playing her on the opponent's turn, she doesn't necessarily have a drawback, she's just different. So like if you're playing an aggressive deck, you don't mind playing Riven on odds and attacking with her right away, but like if you're not attacking on odds, getting the Reforge when you get your attack token back is also very reasonable. Something else that's good to note too here, something that might be worth exploring, talking about that discard deck, is that the Reforge mechanic just generates you stuff that you don't mind discarding as well. So like, it's possible that maybe you want to experiment with Jinx Riven instead of Jinx Draven, with these Reforge elements being fodder that you don't mind discarding. Yeah, rallies and scouts will let you reforge extra times with Riven. Yeah, she also plays well with Draven. Yeah, you could see her paired. Maybe there's a Noxious Riven deck that plays something else as well, like a different secondary region for support. All right, sweet. Let's dive back on into some more games of Runeterra. It's exciting. So we'll get patch notes for people who, oops, clicked the wrong scene. For people who aren't familiar with Runeterra's release cycle, we'll get full patch notes tomorrow. So if there's any balance changes coming to existing cards, we'll get those tomorrow. We should have a full spoiler by tomorrow. The patch will release Wednesday afternoon. If you want my full thoughts, if you're new to the channel, that's my first time you've seen me do a spoiler review. I have a spoiler review of every spoiler set that's dropped in a playlist on YouTube there. You can check it out on my highlights channel. Sashuki Yomi, thanks for the follow while we're doing some spoiler review. How many cards are missing? I don't actually know the answer to that. Does anybody know offhand how many cards are missing? Both of these seem good, actually. I'm gonna mulligan the Pharaon because it's slow to start. Am I letting this idiot put mushrooms in my deck? I think I am. I think I want to save culling for a Braum down the line, because I have Hired Gun that can kill this here. Someone asked, how do I feel about Runeterra's current release cycle? It's fine. I don't think their current release plans are inherently bad, but I also don't think it would be a bad thing for them to try and experiment with other ways to do things. Like, one thing I'll comment that I really liked is the KDA cards dropping... Nah, you could just donate, Hank. That one sounds great. One thing I really liked was the KDA cards being included in like this five really impactful cards in a kind of a mini expansion. And I kind of wonder what Runeterra's release cycle would look like if they did something along the lines of... you know, bigger card drops more frequently, or less frequently, with then those smaller, like, 5 to 10 in the middle. Yeah, you can just craft the KDA cards, just for normal wild cards. Oh, that's a good comment. I should put giveaway in the title. Today's the last day. I want to pick winners tomorrow. I was busy over the weekend with stuff. If you would like a chance to win a dragon pet, leave a comment on any of my Runeterra YouTube videos that were posted between December 1st and December 14th, and I'll pick some winners that way. Attacking my 2/2 into this was probably bad. Will I reveal on stream? No, because I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to wait for people to respond to me. So like, it's gonna take me a little bit. Highlight channel 2. However many you want.
Success is planting your mushroom.
I've also learned that running that with 2 weeks to comment on videos is probably too long. Should probably only do a couple of days next time. It was my first time doing one of these though, so you live and you learn.
By snow and stars.
I think I'm just gonna murder this Teemo while they're tapped out. This level Swain.
The sacrifice must be made.
Korobot can block Swain with snacks. Oh, that's a good thought. So we'll drop Hired Gun here so we can hook that.
Get paid.
Stop telling people about the giveaway. That's true. The more people that know about the giveaway, the less chance each individual has to win. They could have frostbites here.
Best not ruffle our feathers.
Best not ruffle our feathers.
Fly away while you can. An auspicious suit.
Go with the flow.
Just gonna murder this one now before it gets too big. Thought this was a democracy. Why can't I just pay for more shots to pet? Everybody having an equal shot doesn't sound... Well, to be fair, the pet doesn't cost very much, Lambton. So rather than paying for an extra chance to have a shot to win, you should just spend the $5 in the store or whatever the pet costs.
Why are you here? Try again.
Order, sir. Bring forth our army. Praise the Noctora. Remember this day.
They do, Plaid. Spam away. Enjoy. We did. Usually I do those right at 11 when they drop. Shen Zed. Noxious Iona, eh? Actually gonna full mulligan here, looking for some of our, like, Death Sand type cards. Culling Strike, exactly. Thoughts on Riven. You can find my full spoiler thoughts up here. Rivens will be added at the end of the day today. So you're gonna have 3 spell mana available here if they drop Zed. Easiest pass of my life.
For silver I talk, for gold I listen.
Not specifically Tyrannosaurus. It went well. It was fun. People seem to be largely positive about the work that I did, which is all you could really ask for. I felt happy with the job that I did. Yep. So, Culling Strike checks when you play it and upon resolution
Success.
if its condition is met. So when they pump their attack in response there, I get to go ahead and throw away this 1/1 to attack for 6 now, which is good. Yeah, I think that trade's fine for us. I agree. Tempo even.
I need just a moment.
Yeah, I don't have any commentary on the quality of their public Twitch chat. I just assumed like any open Twitch chat with multiple thousands of people in it, it was a cluster.
Be nothing left when I'm done.
I sense an imbalance.
Open attacks here, or do I play the Swain? I think I play the Swain, right? Because it's gonna let me tell this to flock off.
Without a sound.
There are a bunch of people complaining this card game sucks. That's kind of an interesting dynamic coming from... That's kind of an interesting dynamic based on the fact that, like, Riot has other IPs on their channel. They're pretty close to dead here, though, right? Like, they can block 2 of my things for free, but they're taking 9?
I am a true master. It must be done.
Speaking as someone who recently changed games, people are in fact incapable of changing the channel on Twitch.
You pay first.
I'll jump block this so it doesn't level. Maybe we'll bait an overwhelm spell and then we'll death sand this. Right window head. They could have a barrier here as well. They don't have a barrier. This works out very well for us. Could have a deny, I suppose, also. Or a notify. That's fine. To quote him, Captain Farron should end this next turn.
Only the worthy survive.
She must an overwhelming board presence. Their Hearthstone dead to opens. I think I play Farron rather than just opening here. No, that's actually a genuine post, Claire. There is actually some positive feedback in various Reddit threads. While no large community is void of people that are gonna be awful, like you're gonna find a few everywhere. My general experience with the Runeterra Reddit community has been immensely more positive than my experience with other games communities on that platform.
I am a true master. My father's
Oh, I should have put Farron last. I think they're still dead though, right? They could barrier this again to life gain, but they're still dead here, right? Yeah, still dead. I should have put this last one away. Yeah, I definitely think that's part of it, Chris. Like, as someone who was definitely overly negative while making Magic content for like the last half a year that I was doing it, That negativity about something that you're supposed to be enjoying for fun seeps into other parts of your lives. And like, I definitely think there's extra negativity in the Magic community because there are a lot of people that feel similar to what I did, where they're super invested in this thing that used to give them joy, and now it's made them bitter and makes them unhappy. And that bitterness seeps over into other parts of their lives. I think we keep the flock here. They play the frog that deals damage to their own thing, so it's basically a one-mana kill something usually. Fortune Croaker, that's the frog's name.
I've whipped up something special.
The Cyberpunk community. I'm really looking forward to playing Cyberpunk 3 or 4 months from now once they've had their fill of bug fixes.
Just run while you can.
Yeah, I plan to play it on my PS5 once they've released the specific next-gen console version.
Closer.
As opposed to playing the current variation that's just the PlayStation version. Or the PS4 version.
Success gets noticed around here.
We could use a bite.
Yeah, I agree that that's a problem in most communities too, Xandor. You saw that in Magic with Hearthstone when Arena was dropping too. Like that comes from people being so invested in things that they wrap up their entire identity in them. You know, if you card games, one of the reasons why card games are profitable and why card games like Hearthstone and Magic succeed even though they're incredibly predatory and consumer unfriendly is because card games are what we would refer to in the industry as lifestyle games. Card games with their constant content updates and releases means that card games aren't just something you can play a couple hours per day. They're something that you can eat, sleep, and breathe. If you want every waking moment of your life to be you invested in a card game, that's possible. That's an option. And then because people get so invested in their game that they're playing and they put not only time but also money into it a lot of the times in non-Runeterra games, you can spend thousands of dollars on Hearthstone and Arena very easily. And it's tough for people to disconnect the idea of that someone criticizing the thing that I'm invested in is different than that person criticizing me as a person. You hear someone say Hearthstone bad, Magic bad. Well, you've spent hundreds of hours playing Magic and thousands of dollars on that. It's very easy mentally to take that as, well, they said the thing that I'm invested in is bad. They're saying my decisions are bad and I'm bad.
Born a patrician, I became a soldier. Never lost a fair game. Soak it in.
I've heard multiple people make the suggestion they should make Go Hard not shuffle copies in if it loses the target. I really think that's a bad fix. I think that would be a really lazy fix, and I really hope they don't do that. That would simply add this really narrow edge case to where there's counterplay against this card, as opposed to just, like, making it feel less bad. I would much rather they do something, I would much rather they do something like, make the backside cost more. Yeah, I agree, Violet Journey. They feel like Magic players that want their Magic instincts to apply to Runeterra. Yeah, I think making pack cost 4 or 5 is probably what I would like to see happen.
Sacrifices must be made.
Yeah, well, I think it's also important to mention, Coder, like, it's not even just about the money aspect, right? Like, your time is worth money, and you get invested and feel invested in things if you've put a lot of hours into them. Next, Ra, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. That's not strictly true, Moist Succulent. They could template Go Hard similar to Vile Feast, where they say, drain 1, 2, shuffle 2 copies into your deck. Alright, sick. So I get to play this, and then I get to Noxian Fervor this, and then I get to kill their board with Swain. Pandemani, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. No point in attacking with this. They have free blocks since these are dying anyways. You definitely would not have a full collection from just spending $1,000 on Arena. You also have to play a bunch in addition to spending $1,000. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, we could have hit their Nexus. That's just strictly better. Right, Swain was already leveled. So if I hit their Nexus there, it stuns this, then the Doom Beast would have died to this trigger. That's a good catch. Thank you for pointing that out. If we lose by 3, we could have done better.
My legacy.
What a good example of a positive suggestion. This is the thing you could have done, and this is why the thing you could have done would have been better to do.
You got legs. Use them.
So, what Runeterra is doing is very simple. Runeterra, the people that made Runeterra, have made the decision that the actual game should be something everybody should get to play, and they're just not gating the game components like a lot of other games do. Runeterra is instead choosing to monetize largely via cosmetics, which is great.
Witness strength.
Just run while you can.
Yeah, the kegs don't pop on Swain's ability, which is interesting. I didn't realize that. Pretty close to dead here. This much, chat. Missed it by this much.
Destination in sight. Bring these lands.
Fortunately, cannot block the elusive there. think I mulligan my top end here still. Opponent's deck is a mid-range deck, so I am going to eventually want these cards, but I'm not going to want them until like 7 turns from now, so we're going to have plenty of chances to draw them. I'll keep the deckhand as an early play. Thanks, Beansy. She looks like she could have similar problems with Tarek. Completely disagree. She's much cheaper than Tarek. 3's a lot cheaper than 4. You know what? I should probably, because I have this block, I should probably develop before attacking there. Because they play something to chump, I kind of don't mind telling their thing to flock off. Yeah, she's also self-enabling. She actually doesn't really have any of the problems Tarek does. I guess you could argue she's only good when attacking, but I'm not even sure that that's true because her stat line is just good. She has a decent stat line overall. Self-enabling is probably the biggest difference in that comparison, though. Yeah, I think they could do that, Ryumi, but I also think changing the number it costs to cast probably kills it. Probably kills it as a card. What's the best way to learn the Runeterra meta for new players? Just play games. Something that's really important to understand about Runeterra is that unlike many card games, the Runeterra format is huge. There are so many different decks. I would recommend just picking up an aggressive deck where you can worry about executing your game plan and just play a bunch of games with your deck and learn it well, and then eventually you'll be able to just start picking stuff up, learning as you go.
Show 'em pain. Give them a chance. Cowards.
You can always find my recommendation for mid-range control and aggro decks up on my website. Click Runeterra decks up there. You'll find a nice handy list that has my current deck list as well as videos of me playing them. You can take a look at how the deck works before you decide to commit your resources to playing it.
Put on me mask, secure me tail, start the day.
Start the day. Are we swaining here? I don't think so. I think I'm Death's Handing this, flocking this, playing a spider, and then we have okay open attacks. It does. It does always count as 4. The new rank season has not started yet. The lateral reset with the set release on the lateral reset with the set release here soon. It's the 19-month snacker. Welcome back. That's a great draw. And then if they play a blocker for Swain here that I can't Culling Strike, I still have 2 mana left over, so we can Hired Gun. So my opponent's going to either need to kill Swain or have 2 blockers for it here to not take a hit. Faceless, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Worth noting, when the rank resets, for people that haven't seen it before, you don't go back to 0. You just move down a certain number of spots from where you were. Swain's gonna get flocked here. That's fine. Still get to push 5 damage. And then this can trade with this. Hey, thanks, Obtuse. So, pretty good spot here. Opponents' regions don't have healing in them, so, like, we're at a nice healthy 20. We're gonna drop Pharaon, and then he'll give us lethal things all on his own. We have a boat here as a follow-up. There's plenty of thick top end here.
Daddy,
What's up, bud?
I get that. Okay.
You want to get the puppy?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Down here. Down. It's down. Okay. Look, die by bit.
I don't know how to get that puppy, buddy. You got to try and figure it out if you want to do it. Some of the puppies are really hard to get. It's okay if you miss the puppies too. You don't have to get all of them, okay?
Okay. But I want to get my mommy flowers. I have to walk up when I
It's okay. You'll get more flowers in other levels, okay? Can you go play with your game out there, please? Because I don't want the sound to go on my microphone. Thank you. It's not your lucky day. Jacob's been playing Yoshi's Crafted World recently. So he appears to be something of a completionist like his mother. I don't mind running past things that I can't miss. I don't really 100% games. He has graduated from Minecraft Dungeons. He's playing some platformers. Let's do one more with this. I like this deck. Play one more with this, then we'll shift over to some Fiora Shyvana for the back half of the stream. Thanks everybody for hanging out today, by the way. Awesome to see 400 people in here. If you're new to the channel, I do Runeterra content 6 to 7 days a week. With the set release happening on Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a little bit more than I usually do. This deck, like many of the decks that we play on this channel, is a viewer submission. So if you have something sweet that you would like to see on stream at some point in the future, especially with new cards, feel free to submit that on my website. I'm going to keep Croaker as an early play, mulligan the rest of these, hoping to find something to pair with Croaker. Perfect. So, as a heads up, by the way, for people that are new and older to the channel, I have started a second YouTube channel. I had the feedback that people wanted a place to not see all of the stuff that I do, because I also post variety stuff on my YouTube channel. So I've started a second highlights-only channel that posts one Runeterra deck video every day that's edited, so it's shorter. It's about 20 to 30 minutes usually. And then during spoiler season, I'm posting a spoiler review video there every day. So if you want just the best of my Runeterra content, be sure to check out that second channel. I'm gonna play a second spider and attack, I think. Riot needs more clarity on text on when a skill and more use of skill icon where appropriate. Is there everything that is a skill has a skill icon? Can you give me an example of a place where a skill icon isn't used that should be? Because I can't think of any. They are all submissions are $10, Vicarian. Runeterra build rounds are far less tedious than Magic. Not having to build mana bases saves a lot of time. Misfortune. Okay, that's a good one. Have few different answers to Israel here. Yeah, Swain, leveled Swain is not a skill. Skills go on the stack in the middle and can be responded to. Alia Blossom, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Wonder if my opponents Dariusing there because they messed up or because I did.
The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
I think I want to just open attacks here. If they block with Ezreal, I can Death Sand next turn, which will get me closer to leveling Gangplank. First Neighbor NA, thank you for the 26 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
And glory.
Got a flock here for this. Ah, yes. If you are a Prime sub and you get a commercial on my channel, it should mean you're Prime. Your Prime is lapsed. I think I'm supposed to just click OK here because they blocked, which means Death's Hand can kill this, and I would like to save this for the next one that won't necessarily have damage marked on it.
Never forgive.
It's not bragging if you could back it up.
This puts Gangplank to 3 of 5. There's a command exclamation point casting that has the link to the Twitch archive from this weekend.
For silver I talk, for gold I listen.
I think we're just playing this out so we can hook this off to the side. Get a good open attacks in.
You've concerns, do ya?
Do 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 do. Howdy, Jack. The second one of those played out, I think I still want to play this to the board. Just pressuring them as much as possible is great. We've got so many. We got like Captain Pharaon and boats that are top end, so getting their life total low has a lot of benefits to it. They are going to get to block. They are going to get to block our Dorko here, but that's fine. We'll hook this one down here. Hey, Strugs Hugs, thanks for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. I think even if they go to kill Gangplank here, I'm still not playing this. Again, Ezreal is how we lose this game, I think, so I just want to keep this in the tank to be able to deal with an Ezreal should they deploy their third one. Also deals with Riven, which is nice. I like this play for my opponent. So, while they could guillotine both of my things here, they would have to take a hit from the 2-drop in order to do that. So they're prioritizing keeping their life total high here because their deck doesn't have any healing in it. Definitely good roll assessment on their part. Farron's just the better card, Greeny T. We only played the Dreadway last time because it was specifically a build-around submission that asked me to play the 2 boats, but Captain Farron's just a better card than the Dreadway. The few for the many. This is Jack. Yeah, if you haven't been around, oh, I should probably put that. I don't think I've streamed since I put that video up, right? Because I made it on Thursday. I have a how to get started video for this one now. Where's that one at? Swain has unfortunately died here. Yeah, if you've been away for a bit, Jack, I see you have a Kiki Jiki icon on your name there, so I assume you used to hang out for Magic stuff way back in the day. I've been doing Runeterra full time, and I've dropped Magic stuff altogether. I think this is just a better game, and the way Riot managed it is definitely better managed than Magic's ever been. Wait, did I edit already? How to LOR? I might have made a thing already. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's exclude. How? Boat was a good draw. Doing better than Wizards is easy. That's true. It's a low bar. Let me rephrase it a way that's positive. Runeterra and the way Riot has elected to manage this game so far is the best managed card game of any card game I have ever touched. That was the professor's video. Yeah, I clicked on the link to see what video that was. Riot has basically done everything with Runeterra that I have wished and asked and talked about wanting other companies to do forever. And Riot's just doing them. Like, one of Riot's mission statements when they started out making Runeterra was they said they wanted to do everything with Runeterra that other game companies always failed to do, and I think they're doing an exceedingly good job at meeting that goal. As a card game player who has been screaming requests that have largely fallen on deaf ears to companies that make other card games, Runeterra is nailing everything I want them to nail. The Swain's about to be very good. Oh, I was how to LOR. Got it. Yeah, it's really great, Jack, and it plays on mobile really well too. In addition to having a great desktop client, so if you're someone that loves card games, cannot recommend this one enough. So we take a little bit of damage here. I get to drop Swain, and then I get to Noxian Fervor. Which will level Swain, and then the boat will trigger 3 times next turn. It's unplayable on your iPad. Really? My wife plays entirely on our iPad, and when I'm not playing on stream, all my off-stream time is on our iPad these days. Do you have are there different versions of iPads with different processing power in them? Yeah, are there older ones that are weaker? Maybe it doesn't run well on the older ones. Ours is fairly current. We bought ours in the last year or so. The newer iPads were stronger. Okay. I guess when I say runs well on mobile, I don't have a good base because the oldest mobile device, and when I say runs well on mobile, I mean runs well on my good mobile hardware. Like, the oldest device I've played it on is, honestly, I think the iPad might be the weakest mobile device in my house. I have a OnePlus 8 for my phone, which is a current generation mobile phone. So the interface works well on mobile. Can't speak to how well or poorly it runs on older mobile hardware. All right. At any rate, this deck was a lot of fun again. I think I might throw this deck up on my website as a recommendation for a control deck. Hey, Siller, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Captain Farron, the big takeaway at the end here was Captain Farron, as expected, was better than the Dreadway. While the Dreadway was cute and the original build-around idea of this deck was to have two boats and the two things that fetch these, Farron's just a higher quality card that ends games quicker, and when we get to our top end, I want the game to be ending as quickly as possible. I was pretty happy with our mix of things overall. This deck has a ton of just really flexible answers in it, between Culling Strike and Scorched Earth and Fervor and Death's Hand. We have a good range to answer most things that we want, and the few things that we can have trouble answering on occasion, we can just kill them with Farron and Leviathan and our champions here at the top end, which is great. So, I think even though this deck doesn't level Gangplank super quickly, we do level him on occasion as the game goes long. And honestly, just 5/5 with Overwhelm is super, super reasonable in the format. We also leverage the powder kegs that he generates very easily, which is great. All right, so we're going to be done with this one for